Hi guys, Patrick here of NoipyGeeks.com. The Vivo V17 Pro is currently one of the most popular offerings of the company here in the Philippines. With this one, you're getting a device with a large 6.44-inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED screen, a Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 processor, a generous 8GB and 128GB of configuration, and a 4100 mAh battery. We actually have a full review of this device that you can check out to see how all of those features performed in real-world scenarios. But today, here in our Vivo V17 Pro Camera review, we want to focus on the device's biggest feature. The V17 Pro sports 6 cameras all around it. We have 4 on the back, which is being led by a 48MP Sony IMX582 sensor with a wide aperture of f1.8. We also have the 8MP ultra-wide and the usual inclusions like the 2MP macro and 2MP depth sensors. So first, let's start with the 48MP camera. By default, it outputs 12MP images thanks to pixel binning. For those who are unfamiliar, pixel binning allows the device to output brighter images as 4 neighboring pixels join forces to form a single pixel to absorb more light. With that, it's no surprise that the images from this thing look really detailed with vibrant colors and deep contrast. Also, the wide aperture makes low light performance decent, and it also provides an authentic shallow depth of field effect without having to use the portrait mode. If you really want that full 48MP image, you can enable that 48MP mode in the More section of the camera app. It will output images at a resolution of 8000 by 6000, that is 2 times more than the 4000 by 3000 pixels on the standard 12MP mode. The large canvas it provides is great if you want to print the pictures for a poster or any larger format. But if the quality is top priority, you should just stick with the 12MP default setting. Ironically, you'd notice a lot of artifacts and noise when you zoom in on a 48MP image. And just like most devices today, the Vivo V17 Pro also has a night mode feature. It takes decent night shots by taking long exposure shot, although we've definitely seen other devices that has this feature and performed better. Let's just hope that Vivo rolls out a software feature to make the night mode better. Next up, we have the 8MP ultra-wide lens. The f2.2 aperture may not be as open as what the primary camera have, but this is actually fitting since a smaller aperture means that everything will be on focus. With that, you'd really want everything to be in focus, since having a wider field of view allows you to capture tall buildings, do group shots, or capture an entire dinner table in a single frame. The color and overall quality may not be the best, but still worth sharing online. We also have the dedicated macro camera. On paper, the 2MP sensor might feel a bit lackluster, but it sure is enough to capture well-detailed close-up photos, and the colors are also fine. Meanwhile, the 2MP depth sensor does a really good job of separating the foreground from the background. This, of course, results to good edge detection, creating an authentic shallow depth of field effect. Moving on, we have the 2 selfie cameras on front. They are cradled in a large pop-up mechanism that provides a really novelty look. But aside from this unique design, the cameras themselves takes really good selfies and even goofies. The pixel-packed 32MP sensor captures really sharp images, which is rare in devices like this. It offers decent colors and contrast, and it has tons of novelty features like face beauty, AR stickers, and more. Right next to that, we also have the 8MP ultra-wide camera. Again, the overall quality is not the best, but it sure lets you capture more subjects in a single frame. You and your friends don't have to squeeze in tightly just to make it on the shot. The Vivo V17 Pro uses a pretty familiar camera app You can easily switch between the video mode, portrait, night, and more just by sliding the toggle on the top of the shutter button. Probably my only main complaint is when you have to switch to the ultra-wide camera. Instead of having it next to the 1x and 2x zoom, you have to press a separate button on the lower right just to access it. It is sitting next to the bokeh and macro modes. To sum it up, the Vivo V17 Pro's 6 cameras sure makes it one of the most enjoyable smartphones to take pictures with, although I just wish that the camera app gets updated soon. If you're interested in the Vivo V17 Pro, it is available nationwide for a price of 21,999 pesos. Again, this has been Patrick from noipx.com. For more detailed look about the Vivo V17 Pro, you can check out our full written review link below. You might also hit the thumbs up button, share this video if you liked it, subscribe if you still haven't. Hit the bell icon to get notified every time I post a video. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and yeah, thank you for watching.